decision.
Decisions are hard.
Yes, I know. You got so many options.
I know, like a dog with two bones. Only, there's lots of bones and they're not actual bones because this is a really, terrible metaphor.
It really kind of is. Just slightly, but do one of them.
Sigh.
I know, life decisions, things you gotta do. And
So when did we become adults? Oh wait, I'm not an adult. I'm an idiot.
there are adult idiots.
Oh shit, you're right.
There are plenty out there, and it's,
Whatever I am, I'm a savant version of that.
Are you? Well, you kind of are.
Okay, maybe not.
Well, you kind of are because like you are multi-talented in many things, but I guess talented in many things, but master of none.
I'm a dilettante. Yes, I have been called a dilettante before, and it is accurate.
Yeah.
I like to think of myself personally as a Renaissance man, which is the positive way of calling someone a dilettante. Leonardo da Vinci was a dilettante, by the way.
I guess so but also that's a word that I don't use in my vocabulary, but you use in yours because you went to school and got educated and stuff. You did. Like,
Yeah, I got that book learning.
I got them book smarts.
Welcome to the Rubber Duck Syndicate. We are back with episode something.
No, we won't go with episodes.
Yeah.
We upload. We're trying to upload weekly. Sometimes we'll record weekly. Sometimes we might record twice. We all know it's behind the scenes stuff. You don't need.
Yeah,
to know.
what we can promise is that each time we upload something, we will at least change shirts.
I do, anyways. Like I do a lot. I kind of do. What?
Well, you saying I don't? I mean, I know for a fact that I've worn this one on a podcast before, but it's been months.
Yeah, it's been months. But I do kind of remember when you wore that like one time. I was like, okay, yeah.
I also do have another one that is I have another red Hawaiian shirt, which is not this pattern, but I have one that's
it's
could be
red.
confused for this.
It could be, but I think I guess it's the slight gaming. It's that little trembling. Be like, use a different shirt. Oh, use another one. I'm like, I'm wearing this one right. Wear a different one. I'm like, fine, I will.
Well, now I feel self-conscious about my wardrobe. Now I have to go shopping.
No, you don't. You're a straight male, so you're good.
But do I have sufficient shirts in my wardrobe to attract straight females?
Yes. Because if
You heard it here, folks. I'll be waiting.
Because guess what? If you're doing it right, you don't need a shirt. Ha ha! Yeah!
Yeah, I'm not doing it right.
Just nipples out. Yeah, girl, deal with this.
Behold my hypnotic man-teats. Oh, God, that's going to go viral.
It could be. Like the hypnotoad from Futurama. Like. Because, folks, I don't know what Daniel's nipples look like. Women, you can find out. Ladies, take a shot. Find out about these nipples.
The internet is dying to know.
Not the whole internet, just, one woman at a time,
That one woman who's making a voodoo doll of me, she needs to know.
Well, she has to sleep with you first to get a lock of your hair to make the voodoo doll. So, are you willing to risk that? Yes.
Why do you even ask?
Women, if you want to make a voodoo doll of Daniel, just sleep with him, get a lock of his hair.
My soul is negotiable, folks.
It can be bartered.
Probably for an economical price.
Just he'll give you a soul for like some side boob.
I think I get a little more side boob for my soul.
The under boob or something. It's like almost areola.
Why do you think so little of my soul, sir?
I don't know.
What do you think you get for your soul?
Nothing. I have none.
That explains a little.
Yeah. Fuck off. Well, I also made that joke about myself, though, too. So, I am a little soulless, or I might have soul. I don't know. Like our let's talk about that real quick. So, what defines soul?
Sorry.
What?
No. I'm making a joke that we are going to edit out because I'm saying right now we're going to edit this out. But you have soul the way R. Kelly has soul. Is that soul music? Get it? Yeah. Told you we edited this out.
And that was our podcast. So, thank
Yeah, we're done forever. See you later.
Well, I was going to ask about that. Well, not about R. Kelly, obviously.
I'm sorry I even brought it up. Let's start this podcast over.
Just rewind.
Totally seamless.
Yes. No, I was going to say what really kind of defines soul. Is it like a spirit thing or how someone behaves? Because you think about it, like some people are like, oh yeah, black people have soul because of music, spiritual things. Like, so what really kind of defines soul?
I was like that one scene from what was the John Cusack movie, High Fidelity,
Okay.
where he's like he runs a record store, and he's having an identity crisis, and so some guy walks in and says, "Excuse me, do you have soul?" And he's like, "Depends what you mean."
Yeah, because like there is, obviously there is soul music, so it's like very soulful because they're putting their pain, anguish, and whatever they're going through that music. So
Very emotional.
yeah, so very emotionally heavy kind of thing. So which was like they'll classify as soul music. But on the flip side to that, like yeah, most of the time like soul music is primarily performed by black people, typically.
Yeah, there are exceptions, and they are hilarious when they happen.
Some are hilarious and some get by.
Well, but those are the even more hilarious ones. Like you'll hear a voice that is like the most soulful, just perfectly emotional voice, and then you'll see somebody and you realize it's fucking Rick Astley. Mm-hmm. You see like this skinny white dude is singing with this baritone voice and just absolutely reaching the depths of your soul and your emotions.
Yeah, which they actually have a classification of that called Blue Eyes Soul.
Blue Eyes Soul?
Yeah, Blue Eyes.
Is this a Frank Sinatra reference?
Not so much. I think this was maybe created in the black community. I don't know where the origins of it are, but I know, like I've heard the terminology before, is when someone that is not particularly like in the black community has very soulful sound or soulful music or soulful undertones in their music, that the black community will adapt to that, and they're like, "Hey, that person."
You're one of the good ones.
Yeah. Typically, so
Yeah.
another so you said Rick, he's one of those where like kids back in the day when you listened to the radio, you did not know what the artist looked like. You would hear the music. And you were like, hey, this person or this artist or this group is fantastic.
Yeah, if you want to know what they look like, you had to watch MTV. And this was back when the MTV showed music videos.
Yeah. If you didn't have money to have MTV at home, because it was part of cable and it was expensive, sometimes you would just, be blindly, I guess, following this artist, not knowing what they look like. And then you find out Rick is a skinny redheaded guy. You're like, I thought he was black.
One of the other guys, I can't remember the artist's name, but the guy that sings the song, I bet you wonder where I've been.
Yes.
He is white and has these huge Coke bottle glasses.
Yeah. He, not say fooled, the black community.
Surprised.
He surprised everyone because even on his album cover, like, it was a silhouette of him. It's a silhouette. So it was like, black outline. He was sitting on a bench. You couldn't tell that he was a white man until years later on. You're like,
somebody in marketing is like, hey, this is you? Yeah, we're going to do, this is going to be a black and white shot silhouette.
Yeah. Another one.
Somebody knew.
Yeah, there's another one that, another set of artists that get away with this is Hall & Oates. Hall & Oates has been pretty big in the black community.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there are a lot of like people in the black community that will rock with them all the time and just see.
But they don't rock with each other anymore. I heard they were having legal disputes.
Yeah, they have legal delay. I watched I guess a YouTube clip of them of Daryl. Oops.
Daryl Hall. I think it's Daryl Hall and John Oates.
Okay, so it was John Oates. It was John Oates.
I confess right now, I could not tell you which one is which.
John Oates is the guitarist guy. Daryl Hall is the taller singer guy. Okay. So John Oates was like doing the interview. They were talking about it. He's like, yeah, and he's like, yeah, we created great music together. We did this. We came up. We did this, and he says that like, yeah, they created a lot of great music together. And then at some point they start having creative differences, obviously. And then he says like, yeah, they just split different ways, and they really can't. I guess they tried. They can't mend that bridge again where they can come back together and, doing more tours. So he's like, yeah, that's unfortunate, but he's like, I'm proud that we have our music out there. It's still being played. People still listening to it. Mm-hmm. He's like, I appreciate it with that. But as far as a Hall & Oates like reunion concert, he's like, that most likely will never happen.
Yeah, there are some bands that break up hard.
Yeah, very hard. And you hear about it and you're like, oh, that's unfortunate. And then you hear the details of it. You're like, oh, that person's a piece of shit.
Sometimes, or I had this terrible string of luck for like several decades where I would find out about a band and really get into them. Mm-hmm. And then I would realize that I just found out about this band right at the end of that band. And it was for other reasons. Like sometimes it would be because like they took a creative break and they wanted to pursue solo projects. Sometimes it would be that they died in a plane crash. Sometimes it would be that one of them tried to kill the other one or something like really awful. But it was like clearly no matter what, the bands that I really just found out and really loved, I'm never going to get to see live.
That's very unfortunate. Are you cursed?
I probably am, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm thinking, it's like, how can everyone that you just like, not everyone, but some people that you discovered, you're like, oh, they have a great sound. I like them. Maybe I'll see them live.
Yeah, I just recently found about this girl named Taylor Swift. The internet just,
oh no, dude! Don't get us killed. I'm pretty sure
she's gonna be fine, folks.
I'm pretty sure there are like now 10 Swifties outside our garage right now, ready to kill us.
No, well, that's pretty much a constant state all over the world. They're just a network of assassins ready to be activated.
That could be a thing. Those would be the best assassins you think about.
No one would see it coming.
No one would see it coming because typically you'll see like this is a generalization, I'm sorry, but a vast majority of Swifties are probably white women. There are obviously people of white color, men. There are a lot of people that are Swifties. Vast majority.
I understand her music is quite relatable.
Yeah, it is quite relatable. But you also think about it, like, okay, she makes a lot of songs about like breakups, heartaches, and things like that. And she wrote, I guess, a lot of songs about like past exes and past relationships. But she's now like 35, or like she's like in her 30s. How? Like, are all your relationships bad, or is it you?
Isn't she famously dating what's his name from the Chiefs? Travis Kelce.
Travis Kelce from the Chiefs. Yes, and they are engaged.
Oh, they're engaged now. Congratulations.
Congratulations to you guys. Send us a gift because
that's what you do when you get engaged. You send strangers on the internet gifts.
Well, that's what they should do. Like we mentioned it. We're the first ones to ever talk about it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we heard that whole thing about, you giving everybody on your tour, like, tons of money for working for you. So apparently you're Oprah-level generous. So maybe we'll get something.
Possibly. Yeah. Like, whenever you guys get married, just send us a gift. We'll have our address available at some point so that you can do that. But, yeah, you gotta think about it. Like, all right. You've had a number of bad relationships. It happens with folks. But but is everyone terrible? Or like at some point, can you realize you're like, hey, maybe the issue is me. Maybe I'm. I think she did have a song saying something like that. It's
But
me.
she is a prolific songwriter, so chances
Yeah.
are she has touched on that subject at some point.
Yeah, at some point, like somebody in our chat will say like, yeah, she wrote a song called this and this. Okay, cool.
And these other
Please-
12 songs.
These other 12 songs and cool. Please list them so that we can look and maybe listen to it. I know there was one song where it's like, it's me something. The problem is she did have a song saying it was her. So people should recognize that overall. Like, if you've had like say 2 bad relationships, understandable. But if you have like 8 bad relationships and they're all the other person's fault, it's not all their fault. Maybe it's you sometimes. Just a little bit.
And on a related note, sometimes singer-songwriters will use the actual, will make music and release music that is clearly something that they were using to help get through a breakup.
Yeah.
And maybe should not have been released publicly. Like what's her name? The tiny one, Ariana Grande.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to say Sabrina Carpenter, but
She's also a tiny one, but I don't know.
Yeah, a
I
lot
can
of-
identify. I think one Sabrina Carpenter song and maybe like 1 or 2 Ariana Grande songs.
I probably like I'll hear a song and be like, oh, okay, I've heard the song before. I wouldn't know who it was, but continue.
It's
on.
not that we don't like you; it's that we're ignorant.
Yeah. We're also we're not your key demographic.
Yes, we're also old.
Yeah, I want to touch upon that later on, but please continue on.
But I think she was dating Pete Davidson, which is that is its own topic for another podcast right there. Is
Yeah.
Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson, which I guarantee you we are not the first people to talk about it or notice it. And actually, let's not do that.
No. Oh, so you want to move past that?
Well, past the Pete Davidson, but when she broke up with him, she had an album, or I don't know if the whole album was about the breakup, but she had this one song, or maybe it was the name of the album, but it was "Thank You Next," which is possibly the most obnoxious thing you could do. Because it just she made a whole album basically trying to humiliate Pete Davidson.
And then he famously started dating pretty much everybody.
Yeah, I think Pete Davidson is doing okay, and
he's
regardless of
fine.
how bad that breakup was, I think his mental health is probably better than mine right now.
I think that's because of money.
Yes,
money helps.
So yeah, Pete Davidson. Yeah, we got nothing on you really. I mean,
No.
good for you, and also Ariana Grande, because I mean, why not? If you can make millions of dollars being petty about your ex, I think you've already won.
Oh, well, I can't make money about being petty about my ex.
Because you're too good of a person. No, that's not it. Because you're not talented. No, that's not it. It's one of those.
I'm going to move on to something where
You should hear him at karaoke, folks. He's actually pretty good.
I'm pretty decent. I would say that. I'm not good. I was like, I can hold a note for a good bit, so I can do that. But related to music, where we're saying that, like, yeah, we are not part of Ariana Grande's or Sabrina Carpenter's fan base. There's probably a reason why, and I kind of theorized this in my head. I'm not saying you particularly. I think when we get to a certain age, we kind of get, not say stuck. We get into a groove where we're like, hey, we're still listening to stuff that we listened to as we were, say, teenagers in our 20s. And not say not grow beyond that, but we have that comfort level of that. So I still listen to very, very often Franz Ferdinand, the band. I first heard about them when I want to say they released their first song, Take Me Out, when I was probably in high school. And they still produce music still to now. But as far as listening to more artists that are out there, I really haven't really discovered more because I haven't really been actively looking. So I think a lot of folks kind of get stuck in I will say a little time bubble of when say they're teens up to their 20s, maybe late 20s, and then beyond that they're like, I don't really want to, not saying want to, but they don't listen to or explore more outside of that.
Well, I have a related theory, which, yeah, and of course now with streaming technology and Spotify and stuff like that, the theory is I guess it's to be tested, but music, like the music that you're into or that I was into, I see it as largely a function of what I was doing socially at the time. Like I found a lot of music when I was in high school. I listened to what my parents listened to before I got to high school because I was in the car with whatever my parents were playing in the car.
Yeah.
And that was true at home too. I just didn't have my own musical tastes for a while. Then I started finding things that I kind of liked, and in middle school and high school, and being introduced by people there, or seeing T-shirts that people were wearing, and wondering what that is, and finding out about it. And
yeah, because like in middle school, you start expressing yourself a little bit more because you're starting to, your hormones, and you want to start kind of rebelling a little bit.
You're trying to figure out that there's more to you than just whatever mom and dad say you do.
Yeah, because like around that time you're 12, 13, 14, you're trying to find your own identity because like they're just kind of shaping you to be a decent person up to that point, and then you're like, I'm going to be this. So, but continue on. Sorry.
Yeah, well, but the time when I was introduced and listened to the most music ever was when I was in college. Mm-hmm. And that was because I was meeting all new people, and I even had this thing that I did for several years that I love, and I wish I could recreate in some way. But swapping mix CDs with people.
Ooh.
I fucking love mix CDs.
Yeah.
And I found all kinds of great music that way. I found stuff that I'd never be exposed to any other way than by this is some random thing that I thought would be cool to include on your little mix CD project. And then I spent a lot of time listening to music in the car when I was driving, to campus regularly for class. So I spent more time in the car because I would, go back and forth. It wasn't like, if you have a regular job, you leave the house once and commute, and then you commute back at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. I was going different places and meeting people and having social interactions all over the place. And then also I was in school in Raleigh. And so periodically I would have long drives to come back home to Charlotte, or go other places. So I was in the car a lot more, and so that was my primary location for listening to music. So I had CDs all the time. And now I have the handful of, radio stations around Charlotte where we have like 15 Christian radio stations and a handful of classic rock stations.
And country stations and things like that.
Yeah, and so this is not to say that Charlotte is completely devoid of entertaining radio, but it could be a lot better.
It could be, but that's also not say a dying thing, but not a lot of people are listening to the radio anymore. Radio actively, like in their car or even at home. Now it's more about like they're listening to like what they're comfortable with at home, like via like Spotify or like Apple Music or what's another one? Like Spotify, Apple Music are pretty much like the bigger ones.
They still have Pandora?
Pandora still exists. Pandora is still out there. Like what, Tidal or
like that's the one that Jay-Z does?
Yeah, it's like things like Tidal, like kind of like Tidal Wave, possibly. But they're listening to stuff that is catered to them because they're like, oh yeah, I definitely love, because like even mine, like I definitely love Franz Ferdinand. I definitely love Queens of the Stone Age. I definitely love Muse.
Somebody put Queens of the Stone Age on a mix CD for me once.
Ooh, nice.
Yes, and that was how I became acquainted with the idea that there's a genre called desert rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, desert rock is pretty, I love it. Because essentially what, in my mind, or my terminology for desert rock is you're listening to this particular CD and you're on a long trip in the desert. It's like from here to here is an hour and a half away. There's nothing but desert. There's no sights. You can't really see anything, but you have this music that is not really dry, but it has like punchy rock to it where you're like, okay, there's going to be long strings where it's going to be like, okay, they're building up to it, and then it just gets to it. I love it.
Sorry, before we continue with that, like I don't think I ever actually finished my point from my rambling about different social contexts. So yeah, I listened to the most music ever and was exposed to the most new music when I was, in college, and because I was surrounded by people that were my age and in the same sort of headspace, and so we shared music. And like with many things, life changes after college.
It does. Life changes dramatically after college, or when you start working. But continue on.
Yeah, and so it's like, it's not that I'm stuck in like the musical habits that I had by that point, but it's that I'm exposed to so much less new stuff now, unless I specifically go out and look for it.
Yeah. But a lot of these streaming services have good features of like, all right, if you put in, a lot of the favorite artists you have, they'll essentially influence you.
Yeah, the algorithm.
Yeah, the algorithm, that dreaded algorithm, which can be good and bad in some points. But they will integrate some of that newer music into like your music that you had before. Because you're like, okay, like say I love Queens of the Stone Age. Obviously, they're going to put in some Foo Fighters because Dave Grohl was the drummer for Queens of the Stone Age for a little while.
I did not know that. I knew he was the drummer from Nirvana.
Yeah, he was the drummer in Nirvana for like until they someone got a hold of a shotgun. Nah.
Sorry, speaking of like good music that you don't hear very much, I think it's Nirvana's Unplugged concert when MTV Unplugged, just the acoustic stuff. There is some great stuff from that show.
Oh yeah, that was like one of their better sets because it was recorded, not recorded live, but everything was unplugged. It was all acoustic, but they also released an album of it. And you listen to it, you're like, oh, this is fantastic. You're like, because it was grunge, and everyone just kind of heard grunge of being like this loud,
the distortion and like the music that you can barely understand anyway. But then suddenly, oh yeah, there's music behind it.
Oh yeah, they are actually musically talented people that play this music. Yeah, it's a genre that is popular at the moment, but you can also slow it down and play it acoustically, and it can still be good. But yeah, he was the drummer for Queens of the Stone Age for like a little while. Not sure if he was on break from Foo Fighters, but I think
maybe he just toured with them or something.
Yeah, he toured with them for a while because that's how I got introduced to Queens of the Stone Age via Foo Fighters because I like Foo Fighters. MTV showed a video of Queens of the Stone Age. I seen Dave playing drums. I'm like, the fuck is this? I was like, what's going on? And then I'm listening to music. I'm like, all right, I like this. And then went and bought the album and been a fan since.
Oh, this is a neat little segue into supergroups.
Okay.
So sometimes you'll get members of other famous bands that do side projects and get together, and sometimes they'll try to remain sort of anonymous, but sometimes it's all about the celebrity. But sometimes you get great stuff. Sometimes you get at least mildly interesting stuff. Like I'm honestly not sure how I feel about. I think it was Temple of the Dog.
Yeah,
that was a super good. Like one of the guys, or some of the guys from Stone Temple Pilots and a couple of other bands.
Stone Temple Pilots.
Soundgarden was one of
them.
Soundgarden. Yeah,
but I want to say Temple of the Dogs was. I'm not 100% sure. I thought that was prior to both of those bands.
Now that I do not know the timeline of. For some reason, I thought that they were a super group that was because those bands were popular and they just did that one-off project. But it could be the other way around. They might have split up and formed their own bands.
I'm thinking I'm thinking.
Chat, let us know.
Please let us know because there's some music fiend out there. It's like, no, I know.
Yeah.
Type it out, please. Let us know.
We need you.
We need you. Yeah. In the weeks to come after we post this and look later on, we'll look for it in the chat and we'll call you out. Be like, hey, our duckling Ronald told us this. Thank you, Ronald. We don't know what your name is yet, but we're gonna call you out in the future. So look for us to mention your name.
We're going to assume your name is Ronald.
Yeah. If it's not Ronald, just assume your name is going to be Ronald now. So that's what's going to happen. But yeah, I want to say Temple of the Dogs was prior to both of those bands. Like they released it and then maybe there was some conflict. And then like half went to making Stone Temple Pilots, I guess. And the other half made Soundgarden.
Huh, okay. Yeah, I knew that they were related. I thought it was the other way around.
It could be.
We'll know it by next week.
Well, we'll know at some point.
Yeah.
But I'm going to bring up something else because, well, or are we going to get sidetracked or were we going to thought of something else?
Well, okay, so I'm not sure if we never exactly have a plan for this, but we were talking about bands and new music and side projects, and now we're talking sort of about supergroups and specifically Temple of the Dog,
Yeah.
which may or may not be a supergroup by the definition. Now that I've met with this new information, so
Yeah.
up to you. Where do you want to go now?
We actually we wrote down something.
Oh yeah, we had a list. We're staying on topic today.
Sometimes we stay on topic. Sometimes because when we come and record this podcast, we don't have an idea.
Clue.
We don't have an idea or clue what we're going to talk about. We just kind of riff because we do that when we actually have our conversations with each other, and it will go on for hours, and it'll be something that we talked about already, which hopefully we will not run into.
Yeah, we are still there's still a non-zero chance that we're going to have like 5 podcast episodes about the same damn thing and not realize it until they're all published.
All right, we're going to say it at the same time because I think we're both.
Well, we've done this on several topics, so we got like a 1 in 3 chance.
We're going to both say it at the same time. Hopefully you're locked in with me. I'm going to say it in my head. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Sasha
Oates.
Mitchell. See, folks, we're worthless at this. Not even the same decade. Damn it!
No. He said Sasha Mitchell. I said Artex. Artex.
Both of these topics we have come up. We've repeatedly discussed them, and at least once have recorded it.
Yeah, at least once we recorded. So we're trying to veer away from that being a ongoing thing. But we did write something down because we wanted to bring it to the podcast and talk about it.
And I've already forgotten what it was, so I'm glad you wrote it down.
Yes, because we were very fortunate enough to watch a movie in the theaters that I hadn't seen in a little while. I remember it fondly, but it's been years since I watched it.
It was a formative element of my childhood.
Yes. It was The Last Dragon.
Yeah, the 40th anniversary theatrical re-release of The Last Dragon is going on right now, so you might still be able to see it if you're lucky.
Yeah, but when we upload this, they're not going to be able to. So just get
So, haha.
That's fucked up.
You missed it, 4 decades, and then screw you.
Well,
maybe you'll get it on the 80th anniversary.
Well, by this time, they probably have released a Blu-ray, 4K, whatever version of it, so you can watch it.
I want to see some behind the scenes of that.
I do too. But we watched The Last Dragon in theaters, and it was thoroughly enjoyable.
It was sublime.
It was sublime. But going back and watching it, not say problematic, but there's a lot of things in there
That did not age well.
that did not age well. So, I'm going to point out one thing, and this is not related to anything else. There was a guy in there that was in the theater, in the movie theater, watching the Bruce Lee movie. And I guess the Shogun of Harlem showed up.
Sho'nuff.
Sho'nuff showed up.
Played by the always excellent Julius J. Carey III.
Yes.
He is missed.
Mm-hmm. He is a RIP. Let's give a moment of silence for him. All right. So, he busted in the theater, causing trouble. I don't know why. He wants to fight people. That's his whole deal. He wants to fight the strongest person in Harlem.
He wants to be, and he wants to be recognized as the best,
Yes.
the strongest.
So he busted in the theater. Bruce Lee movie is playing, and he challenges people, saying like, "If you want to shut me up, come shut me up." So then people just coming at him to try to fight him. There was a large gentleman that came out.
The tank top guy.
It wasn't even a tank top, folks. This was like a bralette. Because a tank top usually would have the straps, the U shape right here, and then kind of all the way down, down underneath your stomach.
No,
this was a large man. It cut off right here.
It was a half shirt tank top thing. It wasn't even the muscle shirt.
It wasn't even the muscle shirt.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was part of a shirt.
Yeah, like because at least 60 to 70% of his belly was hanging out, which I thoroughly enjoyed. 60 to 70% of his belly was hanging out, and then like on the top half, like 30 to 40% of his chest was out. So like this was essentially just.
We're going to try and find a still frame from this to edit in and demonstrate to you.
We'll put the picture up.
Yeah,
right.
we're going to assume that we're capable of this technological feat.
The picture is
this is the image.
Right here. That's what the character looked like. Now I don't remember this when I was watching it, years ago. I had a very good laugh because I'm like, this dude is barely wearing a shirt. And it's like, what was the purpose of it? Like,
just to highlight his masculine form.
Of just beer gut?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what was going on.
He was confident enough to wear that shirt.
And I think it was pink, too.
It was pink.
Oh, my goodness. That
yeah, but like the rest of his outfit was like, leather jackets and chains and,
No leather jacket. Like I
thought he had a leather jacket on.
That was the guy he was next to.
Oh, the guy next to.
So
okay.
obviously
this was just the tank top.
This was just a tank top. So obviously that dude in the tank top and the dude that was wearing the leather jacket and the hat and stuff like that, they were obviously a bear couple. They were gay. I'm saying it right now. This is recorded now. Saying this, that was a gay couple that was watching that movie because they came down together.
Sorry, like. You're going to get your ass beat by a couple 70-year-old gangbangers now. It's like, we're not gay. We're just proud of our looks.
I'll take on some older dudes.
Not touching it.
I will.
Okay, speaking of back to what we were talking about and not this topic altogether.
Yeah, so that was very entertaining to see. But the overall thing of, like, yeah, it still holds up, folks. The movie still holds up. But there are some aspects that are questionable.
Yeah. So what was the thing? Was it just like, is it racist? Or like, how racist is The Last Dragon?
I just wrote down...
Or just like, talk about problems with The Last Dragon.
Yeah, talk about problems with The Last Dragon. Yeah. I just wrote down, is The Last Dragon racist?
Okay, yeah. And this is one of those... Well, like all questions of racism, it's context dependent. It depends on who you are and your point of view.
Yeah.
But on the one hand, is this Barry Gordy and his loving homage, I don't know what the correct pronunciation of that is now, loving tribute to like the kung fu movies of the 70s and 80s, but it just happens to be through the lens of black culture, or is this a complete exploitation flick? That is cultural appropriation and racist, against all of Asia.
Yeah, because there were some things that were iffy. So the main character, Leroy Green, also known as Bruce Leroy,
played by Tiamak.
Yes. If you don't know who that is, just go look it up. He's fantastic.
I think he's in Seattle.
Somewhere. He's still out there.
Yeah, I think he actually, last I looked him up a few years ago, I think he ran a dojo somewhere.
Oh, cool. So. But he is a African-American male who is taking on Asian culture and wearing the garbs pretty much all the time.
Yeah, wears the traditional, like, big buttons, silk robes, and I think it is called a coolie hat, the big straw hat that the dock workers used to wear.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a lot of people that called him a coolie. Like, are you a coolie? He's like, no, just...
I think that was actually originally a term for the dock workers.
Yeah.
And then it became sort of a generic racial slur.
Yeah, somewhat like that, because like one of the characters I really like in a movie, Kung Fu Hustle, one of the main characters, one of the characters in it, like they just refer to him as Coolie. And because they're also the tailor, and they're also who was it? Baker. There was Baker Cooley, Baker Cooley Taylor. They didn't give them names. That's what their profession was. But getting back to Last Dragon, So yeah, they refer to him as Cooley sometimes. They use the N word maybe twice that I remember.
Yes, but it was not used by white people.
Yeah,
Notably.
not used by white people. I think.
They at least got that bit right.
Yes.
We're looking at you, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, he says it a lot, and not because like he says like, "Oh yeah, you use it in the movie," and I was like, "Slow down, please. That you're using it way too often."
So it's a movie. I can use it like we're gonna say you're gonna say it, you're gonna say it, you're gonna say it, you're gonna say it 5 times. You're gonna say it while stepping on a guy's head.
Yeah, you can refer to the word. Don't just say it in an interview because that just makes it very weird. And I know that he has his reasons behind that. He's like, oh yeah, I was like, don't stop, just stop. We appreciate your movies, but sometimes you're going a little bit too far with it. If that's like saying if someone is like visiting your house and they're staying for a little while
and they call you the N word. That's going too far. So remember this ironclad rule of etiquette, folks. If you're staying at someone's house, don't call them the N-word.
Okay. We need to finish up throughout the last dragon. So they did use the N-word a couple of times, which was okay. One person that was in there that I forgot about, William H. Macy, was in there.
This is way early in his career, so he's basically playing a side character that literally has one scene.
Yeah, he has one scene, but he played it up. I was like, that's William H. Macy.
Yeah, also, Chaz Palminteri is in there, but you might miss him because he's only in there. I think he has 2 lines.
Yeah, he has like 2 lines, and then he's out.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of people that were in there. But we were talking about like, it's still, I will say it's still a fine movie. There are parts of it where you kind of like cringe up a little bit, but overall it wasn't crazy racist because they were essentially honoring a lot of the Asian culture and black culture and putting that together and not really overdoing each part too much, because there were some Asian guys that kind of, I guess, were portraying or have like a little bit of the black culture in there, in what they were doing. So that wasn't anything that I was like, that's blatant racist. I was like, no, they're adapting to the culture of what's around them.
And I am, the farthest thing from an expert on this, but as I understand it, like specifically kung fu movies and that tradition has been a huge part of black culture for a long time.
Yeah, definitely.
Like that's where we get the Wu-Tang Clan.
Yes, yeah, because there has been so much influence about, like, say, martial arts movies, and we'll also tie in anime to, like, say, black culture. That
is this where everyone knows Piccolo was black? Yeah.
Well, we can argue about that because, like, is Piccolo could be black because, like, I think canonically he is like 7'4". He is a very tall man. I can almost say, hot take, Goku's black. And
hold on. Like, we really don't want to go down that route.
I was going to say right now, not because of the monkey factor, okay? Fuck y'all. Yeah. All right?
Getting out ahead of that one, we were on the same page.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's like, no, not because of the tail. No.
No, I was going to say, like, Goku's black because he typically abandons his kids all the time.
Yeah, glad we got that potentially racist thing out of the way. Good work, O.
I'll take the hint. I'm okay. I'm pretty sure people have talked about that before.
Yeah, probably. I don't know where we can go from here.
We can't go anywhere from here because that's where we're going to end the podcast.
Absolutely.
Bye, folks.